Longer. Guys believe it, and we're not going to change anything up. That would be silly on my part to panic. I mean, you don't do that. We're very comfortable about who we are, and we can beat anybody, anywhere, at any time, playing the way we play.
So we had that mindset tonight after a loss to be the aggressor, and we have to keep that same mentality in Game 3 and Game 4. Like, no matter where we are, if we have that mindset, we're in good hands.
They were desperate tonight. They played like it, and we didn't. And the results showed.
Steven Jackson took some issue with what head coach Mike D'Antoni was saying.
Anybody, anywhere, any place, any time.
Okay, D'Antoni, you wasn't talking like this after Game 1. I didn't hear crickets. All I heard was crickets. You wasn't this confident after Game 1. We are who we are. Okay, we understand that. But thank you for letting us know that you changed your offense, because y'all didn't do the same thing. James Harden didn't have 6,000 dribbles. Chris Paul didn't have 6,000 dribbles. Y'all shared the ball. They did what I said yesterday on the show.
Yes.
They gave the guys who you expect to guard all game a chance to be good on offense.
Some love.
You share the ball. We all said ISO ball wasn't going to win. They trying to stick in their ways and say it in the media, but they did not play like that last night. They shared the ball. Good thing about it, on defense, they was the hit first team. Golden State was the hit first team the first game. They came out and played with a sense of urgency, did what they had to do. Eric Gordon, I think he can play like this the rest of this series. I think he can be solid and score points. P.J. Tucker, absolutely not. Okay?
You can't depend on that?
12 20-point games in 522 games. Okay?
I think you said P.J. Tucker couldn't score 22 again if they locked him in the arena.
By itself. Okay? If you expect
on 88% shooting.
If you expect this P.J. Tucker to get 22 points a game for the rest of the series, you lost your mind. Okay? You don't know anything about basketball. But great game for them last night. They did what they had to do to win this game, going back to Golden State.
Here's the only thing you said I take issue with is they were equally as isolation heavy in Game 2 as Game 1, but they were totally different types of isolation. How they did it. Your point on the dribbling, it wasn't a 14-second isolation where James Harden's just cross the whole time. It was quicker isolations that led to open shots for the role players. It was driving kicks. In Game 1, Harden had 26 of those isolations by himself. Yesterday, he had 16. CP3 had 16.
Nick, how many times did Harden dribble the ball in game number 1?
550 times, according to Spectrum.
And how many shots did he take?
In Game 1?
500.
No.
Right.
But
it's night and day. It's night and day.
The dribbling note is he dribbled the ball 550 times. Steph, KD, and Clay dribbled combined 549. The broadcast did a great job showing that. So that you just visually you saw last night, even though it was still ISO heavy, it was back to the type of basketball I saw the Rockets play all year, which was excellent defense, top 6 defense in the regular season, top 3 defense in the postseason. They shared the basketball, and they ran on you. Like, that's who they were this regular season.
Yeah, the fast break points and the defense. That's the difference in this Houston team, not only the depth for which they had. I like that they went with a tighter rotation. Now, let me tell you about your boy, Luke Richard. He can't come off the bench again. Next time he come off the bench, need to be at the parade. Like, he was awful in quarter number 1 after being bad in quarter number 2.
Layups, man.
But at the end of the day, it's about defense. Houston, are they going to be different in the playoff than any other Houston team we've seen? 2016, where they rank as far as defense, 26. This year, a top 10 team, ranked number 6. And it starts with their point guard in Chris Paul. When he was guarding Clay, when Clay was going against everyone else, Harden was guarding, he's shooting 50%, 60% from three-point line. When Gordon is guarding, he's shooting 40 and 33%. When CP is on Clay, it's been the matchup of the first two games. He's shooting 25% from the field and 16% from three-point. So we can talk about their offense. We can talk about fast break points. All those things true. But their defense is what sets them apart from any other team that we have seen that just played at pace and shot threes.
Yeah, they were real physical last night. And I even though KD had a great game, I think Ariza set the tone. He came out, he was banging KD, he was talking to him, getting him to talk trash. I think that got everybody else on the team going. And like I said, Chris Paul, he's a great defender. He knows how to dirty the game up. Trust me, he's a feisty little guy, but I guarantee you he won't be able to stop play for the rest of the series like that.
Their goal is not stop KD, because you saw that. They're letting KD do what he wants to do.
You can't do that anyway.
Correct, but look what happened to the rest of the team.
Right.
For example, Steph Curry. What happened with Steph Curry last night? He just hasn't been able to find his shot, and he whether he's injured or not, he just doesn't look like he's comfortable or has control over his matchup out there.
Yeah,
Wait, let's address the injury thing. Do you think he's injured, or do you care?
I don't care, and I don't think he's hurt. If you're out there on the court at this point, you're healthy. James and Chris Paul did a great job, but I was about to say something about KD. He can lead this team all he wants. He can score all the points, but last night that team looked like they was fresh out of V-Live strip club at the beginning of the game. They was
V-Live got
Where
shut
is that?
down for not paying its
no
taxes.
V-Live have strip clubs all around.
The one in Houston got shut down for not paying its
It's
taxes.
a different name now.
Okay, got you.
Yes, it's a
Go
different
ahead,
name.
as you were.
Literally couldn't be more
G5.
inside.
G5. You got it. You got it.
My bad. But they look like they came out.
No other more show will have that.
None. Shout out to DC. My boy DC. They came out just like they was tired, like they fresh out the club, and
Making
they
it
had
rain
so
a
many.
different type of way, Jenna.
Exactly.
Okay.
So many turnovers. Draymond had like 4 or 5 unforced turnovers. They were just they looked like we showed up today. Let's hurry up and get this game over with so we can get back to Golden State. We did what we need to. That's how they started the game off.
And
KD the only one came to play last night.
And I'm not gonna sit here and be like the Warriors. They lost game 2. They're screwed. I'm not saying that. I think most people, if they picked Warriors in 5, which was a popular pick, thought the one game Houston would win would be game 2 at home. But what I will say is Golden State has in the series, the only series they've lost in this era. Everyone focuses on the final 3 games against Cleveland, when LeBron went off, when they blew the 3-1 lead. The turning point in that series.
They didn't have KD.
I understand that, but just stay with me for a second. They were up 2-0 against Cleveland, and in game 3 they came out, didn't care. They could have won the series that night. And in the first quarter, I believe in that game, they were down 21 points almost instantly. They did not come out with a sense of urgency. I feel like last night they could have won the series. If you steal the first 2 on the road, and now all of a sudden Houston not only has to win 4 out of 5 against you, but 3 of those games are in Golden State, you're finished. They could have won, and they didn't come out with a sense of urgency. I know the Rockets were desperate, but the Warriors could have been desperate to win the championship last night.
Those first 6 minutes were critical. When they threw the ball away, they weren't even getting attempts. So I don't like the fact that, they could have taken over the series. Yeah, but there's a championship team on the other side. They won 65 games for a reason. Sure. You mention it. The only reason why I know it is because you tell me all the time. It's only 20 teams won 65 games. Well, the Houston Rockets are one of those teams. And 15 of those teams have won a championship.
And so to get back to Jenna's question on Steph, I think, listen, Steph is, when he is locked in, he is almost unguardable because he can pull up from 37 feet, and it looks like a good shot.
Steph is unguardable when they don't let him touch him. When you start getting in the playoff, Steph Curry, it's a different thing.
Well, that's what
because you can be more physical with
That's what I wanted to ask you about. Is
a lot of players.
How much of Steph's struggles in this series? We've seen Steph struggle in a few NBA finals. Is the other team will target him and make him work defensively when you're playing in this series or in the NBA finals? There's usually nowhere to hide defensively that you can have him go stand in the corner. So he's using energy there. The refs let you play a little bit more so you can bump him a little bit more. There were a bunch of times last night when he did get to the rim, he thought he should have got an and one. They didn't give him the and one.
But he played through it.
And he played through it. Like, how much of that is that this level, not level, but this time of year, this type of basketball doesn't exactly fit his strengths with his body type and with just his overall ability to play on both ends?
Well, we can't say it don't fit his strengths. He's a 2-time champ, 2-time MVP. So you can't say that. It's just Houston did a better job of being more physical from the jump last night. I don't think it's going to be like this whole series. Yeah, he's been battling injuries and all that, but I guarantee you, after this game 3, we won't be saying that. I think he's going to get his offense back. I'm not saying they're going to beat Houston, but I'm saying he's going to get his offense back, and he's going to play what? Every time you go home, after playing the first 2 games on the road, you go home feeling great. Just being in your arena, sleeping in your own bed like we talked about the other day, it's a different feeling. And when you talking about a team like that, going home, one of the best home teams in the league, I'm not worried about it.
One thing watch for Steph, too, the refs aren't giving him the call. He shot one free throw yesterday. Got fouled a bunch of times in the lane. But if he shoots one free throw, that doesn't play to his strong suit.
But I'll be worried if he was whining about calls afterwards and not getting them. He played through it. They took their L, like Katie say. We're not the NBA juggernauts. We're human.
By the way, in an odd turn of events, the house that, because they started their Hampton 5 last night, the house that Katie rented in the Hamptons when they all met together was rented, put on the market
On the
yesterday
market for $15 million.
Nice.
Action Jack. That's right in your budget, man.
No, I'm in the South. I'm a Southern boy.
Steve